we've sort of talked about the Olympics a little bit on and off on the show, but like when you look at guys that could theoretically make an Olympic roster, the names like Celebrini and Bedard are now coming up as, what does the team ultimately do? Do you hand one of those spots to a super young guy? I mean, where do you kind of land on it? Do you lean experience in the Olympics, or do you feel like it is a good thing to have the youth?
I think you need tons of experience, and I think if you have the capable bodies that physically are there for you, you have to go with them. I think if there's any young guy that makes it, it will be Celebrini, even ahead of Bedard. He's a better complete player for that, especially for the shorter ice, the way it is now. It's not like you have to play in the big sheet of ice like we thought they were going to. So I think he makes a lot of sense for a young budding star to make that team, where I don't know if Bedard makes it yet. I'm not sure.
Seems like he's kind of in the mix. I guess we'll see. It's interesting. Like, do you think that when a national team is looking at building their roster, how much effect do you think the early part of an NHL season has on whether or not a guy can really burst onto the scene and make the club? Like, do you put a lot of weight into it? So figure 40, 45 games before the break?
Yeah.
Is that enough for a guy to make their case that if they maybe weren't on the radar in this past summer, can a 40, 45 game stretch kind of punch their ticket?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's enough time, given you're playing the best players in the league on a nightly basis. And if you're able to put up the kind of numbers that a guy like Celebrini's put up, I don't think it's not that it's not enough time. I think it's actually the right amount of time to show that he's developed from last year, where he had 60-some points last year. Yeah. I think he had one more than Mishkov.
Yeah.
You talk about, I know Mishkov's had a slow start to the year. He's getting better lately, but talk about a guy who's just zoomed past where he was last year to where he is this year. I don't think that – I think there's a few guys. I think I read today the Team Canada bubble is down into the low 30s for where they're looking at picking guys, and that nobody from the World Cup or from the Four Nations Cup last year has been left off at this point. So everybody's still a viable name.
There's an interesting question here from Jeff Rose over on YouTube. Does the NHL have control over the players to tell them they can't go because the ice is not safe to the Olympics? I believe that the decision if they were going to move would have to come from the IOC. It can't be an NHL thing. I don't think the NHL can tell the players not to go, right? They can maybe make the recommendation.
I guess so. I mean, I think they're just going to have to live with what that ice is. I don't think there's anything you can do about it now. We talk about the shape of the ice, the size of the ice. I mean, to me, it's still the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life.
Yeah.
Yet one tournament every 4 years. How hard is it to do it right?
And it's been 7 years since almost 7 years since they got awarded it.
I guess the NHL could say something to the players, but at this point, it's kind of a moot point. You've already decided to send them. You're not going to just pull the guys back from it.
Do you view the smaller ice, where they're saying it might be 3 feet shorter than an NHL rink, never mind the size of the typical international ice, do you look at that as being a legitimate risk of, presenting a legitimately higher risk of injury?
Yes.
That smaller sheet of ice?
I think it does.
How big of a difference? Because I know that they've been talking about that the neutral zone might be where they take that 3 feet from, and they'll keep the offensive zones the same size. How much does that change? What part of the game does that change if you're a player? Is it the picking up speed going into the zone? Like what's the thing that makes the likelihood of injury increase in your mind?
Because you're going to eliminate the speed. They're going to try to replicate the same speed that you see on a nightly basis, but with less time and space, you're taking away that ability to use the speed. That's where I think injuries can come in. In the D zone too, I was expecting. I don't know what their plan was. I thought we'd see an Olympic-sized sheet of ice.
Yeah, I did too.
I didn't even think we'd be looking at an NHL specs, let alone something smaller than the NHL. So, again, I do worry about injuries, because these are the kind of things that you can get yourself injured in these type of small, short, intense tournaments pretty quickly if you're not game for it. So I do think that's a big factor.
I would assume that if this ends up being the case, and it is 3 feet shorter than an NHL rink, this is probably going to favor the players, though, that play in North America, that play on the NHL ice, right? Or is there something that you have an advantage if you're used to playing on the bigger sheet and it shrinks down?
I think size and physicality will become a factor in it. I think dump and chase will be a factor, where you're not supposed to dump and chase on Olympic ice. At least when I played the Olympics, we were encouraged not to dump and chase. It allows for bigger bodies. I mean, I think you're going to see Tom Wilson on the team. I think because
smaller
absolutely smaller ice, bigger body, guy that likes to punish people. No, we'll see what happens. They got a list in their 30s, and they got to chop that down in the next 40 days.
It's a really, really interesting, kind of chaotic and kind of unacceptable set of circumstances they've got to play under. It's
terrible.
It's something that you shouldn't have to do. I mean, listen, the dumbest comparison, but like maybe the most apt is like in Major League Soccer, NYCFC has been playing in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
And the size of the field is definitely not regulation. Like, there's no chance. If you watch it, it's almost like comparing arena football to the NFL. That's how ridiculously small that field looks. And, like, in soccer...
And that's MLS, right?
Yeah, and in soccer, like, it doesn't make... I don't think it changes that much. I mean, it certainly changes some tactics. It doesn't increase the likelihood of injury because you're not on ice. You're not on ice. But, man, it's just like a variable that you shouldn't have to kind of worry about if you're a professional player, if you're somebody who's trying to, like, reach the pinnacle of your sport, get to play for your country, that now you've got to play on this ridiculously small sheet of ice. It just makes no sense. Let's see. We still, by the way, we have not gotten any kind of an update about the IOC looking to move it. Remember, when the Olympics were in Torino, which isn't that far necessarily, that was a just under 15,000 seat arena, right? And like, there's always the possibility that I guess if they were going to relocate, they could try there. But
I'm looking. I just Googled just for the fun of it to see what the standard size for an Olympic size rink was because I think it's a little wider and maybe a little bit. I don't know if it's a little longer, but they have Olympic size ice rink for hockey standardized by the IHF at 197 by 85. So they have it listed already as 3 feet smaller than an NHL rink, which is 200 by 85. Crazy, isn't it?
It's going to be a mess.
That's going to be a mess.
But you know what, Bundy?
Sure.
As much as we talk about it and as much of a joke as it is, we're going to live and die with every game, right? Like, there's still nothing quite like the Olympics. The Four Nations was like a nice little appetizer.
Yeah.
Right? And like, we kind of openly questioned last year, are the players really going to get up for it that much? Are the fan bases really going to get, and they did. Like the U.S. versus Canada, not the final game, but the one before it. There was a lot of vitriol in that game. It was a hell of a thing to watch. I think the Olympics are going to be something. The one downside, I get why Russia doesn't get a team, but to me, it doesn't feel fully like the Olympics without.
Russ, I've played in the Olympics, and some people won't want to hear this. I think it's a waste of time.
Really?
I do.
Why?
I just play the NHL season. You know, I mean, if you want to do another, they're doing the Four Nations Cup. You're shutting the league down for 3 weeks. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff about the Olympics at this level I don't agree with. I think if you're signed up to play for a team, you play for that team through the year. There's a lot of money involved. I just think the Olympics are a total waste. I think it's a nice thing to represent your country, but after that, whoop-de-doo.
Do you feel like they've added too many events, and it kind of takes away from the specialness, I guess, of being an Olympic athlete?
I don't know. They've added a lot of sports, right?
Yeah.
Like now, flag football is a sport. Not in the Winter Olympics, but flag football is a sport in the Olympics now.
Can we get pickleball in the Olympics? Have you taken up pickleball yet? Have you tried?
I've never played it.
I kind of want to see you on a pickleball court. We got to get me, you, and intern Andrew out on a pickleball court. What could possibly go wrong?
Really, you could blow your knee out.
That is true.